Hi everyone, I'm back for chapter 4. A minute passed and nothing happened. Not even the wind moved through the silent, thorny vines circling the Fairy Homelands. Another minute passed, and another. By the end, May waited a full 10 long, hugely boring minutes before slowly turning around to look. The eye was gone. Finally! Ow! May shouted, releasing the scream she'd been holding in ever since she crashed into the ground. Standing up was the next order of business, but that wasn't quite so easy since both of her arms had passed the invisible line of the sleeping curse and were now completely asleep. Numb, dangling arms made pushing oneself to one's feet a bit more difficult after all. Stupid magic. May finally managed to twist to her knees and then push up to her feet without falling over as her arms, now free of the magic, began tingling painfully. She bit her lip to keep from shouting again, though really, who was going to hear her? And stomped on the ground a few times until the feeling finally returned to her hands and arms. Now all she had to do was untie Philip and then pull Jack out of the spell's field without being able to get in far enough to touch him. At least the horribly evil girl had left her rope. May shook her head and then smacked her fist into her palm. Next time she saw that girl, there was some definite underhanded, sneaky type face kicking to be done. May untied the prince, who groaned but didn't wake up. That wasn't a great sign, but at least he was alive. She quickly tied a loop into the rope and then spent the next not quick few minutes trying to throw it around Jack's feet. May managed to hook them a few times, but the rope kept sliding off as she pulled. Finally, when he was close enough, May just intertwined her hands and then threw them into the field to wrap around his feet and dragged him in with numb arms. Now that Jack was out, May turned her attention to the little golden fairy, but there was just no way. The fairy's flight and lighter weight had sent her way too far past the gate, and barring some kind of appearance at a cowboy with expert lassoing skills, the fairy would just have to wait until they figured out how to deal with the curse. In the meantime, that still left her with one sleeping friend, as no amount of shaking or screaming at Jack seemed to do anything. And May tried both, a lot, and then tried them again. "Okay, I am not kissing you," she finally screamed. "I refuse to accept that kissing would take someone out of a coma. That is not how legitimate medicine works." Unfortunately, there was a distant lack of doctors around to agree with her, something she often had a problem with. And the longer this went on, the less time they had to wake the fairies up. Not to mention that sitting there alone on the outskirts of a completely silent city covered with enormous thorny vines was more than a bit creepy. "Okay, you did this for me," May said to him as she bent down next to Jack. "I get that. And frankly, I'm about 2 seconds away from going insane, trying to deal with this all alone. The Queen, she did this, all this, just to keep me from finding out which stupid fairy tale I'm from. All this, she's going to wipe out an entire city just to torture me. That's who she is." May grabbed Jack's hand and held it in hers without even noticing. I know I've said I'm okay, Jack, but I'm really not handling this. I mean, she was my family. All that family I had. All the family I ever had. I loved her, Jack. I really did, but I can't. A drop of water fell onto Jack's hand, and May realized her cheeks were wet. She sniffed hard and wiped her eyes. I need your guys' help. You're all that I have right now. Remember that when you wake up, because I don't want to hear about this for the rest of our lives, okay?" She poked a finger into his chest. Let's just hope it works. If it does, you have my permission to mock me for as long as you want. Just please wake up." And with that, she leaned over to kiss Jack. All right, I'll see you guys for chapter 5.